Hi, and welcome back to our SEO tutorial. At this point, you're ready to begin creating your sitemaps for your website and submit them to your Webmaster Tools account. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video, how exactly you create those sitemaps and how you upload them to Google Webmaster Tools. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we should talk about are what exactly are sitemaps. And basically, sitemaps are simply specially structured files that you add to your website that describe the different pages on your website to a search engine. It tells the search engines what pages you want them to index, and it also tells search engines how frequently your website changes so that they know how often to come back and check to re-index your website. Without a sitemap, search engines basically just have to guess what pages you think or you want to be indexed in your site. So sitemaps are really important. And there are three different formats that your sitemap is going to need to be created in. And they each serve a very specific purpose. And the first format that you need your sitemap created in is in XML format. And the file itself should be called sitemap.xml. And it's this XML format, or this XML version of your sitemap, that you're actually going to upload to Google and Bing Webmaster Tools. So for that reason, a lot of people consider this file to be the most important of all the different types of sitemap files that you can create. But it's definitely not the only format of sitemap that you need to have on your website. The second format of sitemap that you're going to need to create is a sitemap in HTML format. And this is a more general format. It can be used by any search engine or any directory at all that finds your website to index it. So you can think of sitemap.html as being sort of your fallback sitemap. If the search engine that comes along doesn't understand the sitemap.xml file, it certainly will be able to use your sitemap.html file. And Google and Bing also use the sitemap.html file if they find that on your website as well. But again, they mainly depend on the XML version of your sitemap. And then finally, you're going to need to create a text version of your sitemap. And this should be called urllist.txt. And this is the format of sitemap that's used by Yahoo and, again, quite a few other minor search engines. But Yahoo definitely is not a minor search engine, so you don't want to ignore them. So you need a URL list.txt file. Unlike Google and Bing, you actually don't need to submit this to Yahoo. Yahoo, when you suggest your site to Yahoo or register your site with Yahoo, they will just come to your website and find the URL list.txt. All three of these files, once they're created, need to be uploaded into the same directory or the same folder as your website's home page. So that's probably index.html. Whatever folder you have your index.html file inside of, that's the file that you're going to upload these three different sitemap files for. Now, there's a few other different types of sitemap files that you can create. But again, these three are the main ones that you're going to want to consider. A fourth type of sitemap file that you can create is actually called ROR.xml. And sometimes people call this file an RSS feed. And it's purpose is not only to be used by search engines, but also to be used by people who have an RSS feed reader and like to read websites using that. But again, search engines do use RSS feeds if they find them in the ROR.xml format. And we're going to talk about that in another video, because that's sort of a separate topic. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. Now here you can see I've actually gone into my Google Webmaster Tools account. And if you go to the sitemap section, you're going to see a link here that says why submit a sitemap. And when I click on that, it's going to open up another window, and Google will tell you everything you want to know about sitemaps right here. They're also going to tell you if you want to manually create your sitemaps, how you can go about doing that. And it'll also talk about how to manually create an RSS feed too, if you want to. Most people, however, don't manually create their sitemaps. Most people use a script to generate their sitemaps, and this has quite a few benefits to it, but there are some things that you need to be a little bit cautious about, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But definitely go read this Google section about sitemaps, and it'll give you a lot more great information. And it'll also explain again and reinforce how important having a sitemap is to getting your website indexed by Google and Bing. And while I'm on the Google page here, Bing also has an equivalent page about sitemaps and their importance for getting your website indexed correctly. At this point, I want to give you just some cautions and some warnings about downloading scripts and really anything in general from the internet. There are a lot of great resources that you can download from the internet. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, but there's a lot of quality resources out there for web designers and website owners to use. But there's also a tremendous amount of dangerous or just bad material that you can download from the internet. On the one end of the scale, if you download a website template, let's say, and it ends up not looking right, well, that's not really dangerous. It's not going to be what you want, but it's not going to cause any problems. But other times, things that you download from the internet, be they web templates, be they scripts, they can actually contain viruses or other forms of malicious code or spam code inside of them. And you want to be very, very cautious about downloading and using scripts from the internet, because scripts actually are mini programs that are going to run on your web server or in your computer's browser in the case of JavaScripts. And that means that they can do a lot of things. PHP scripts specifically can be very dangerous in what they can do. Sometimes they can be dangerous just in the fact that they're bad and they cause websites to crash, but other times they can contain viruses or spam inside of them that can really cause you problems. Sitemap scripts specifically oftentimes contain code that creates spam links and data from your site. And script authors do this in an attempt to promote sites that they have an interest in. And by itself, The spam links that they'll get from your website won't really give them much of a boost, but cumulatively, if hundreds or thousands of people download that script, that's going to have quite a positive effect for them. But what will be a positive effect for them may be a very negative effect on your website. At its very minimal, sitemap scripts that generate spam links will slow your website down. At the other end of the spectrum, if a search engine like Google or Bing identifies that your site is a source of spam links, they could penalize your site or even remove your website from their index altogether. So you want to be extremely cautious about downloading scripts from the internet and using them on your website, especially scripts that are going to submit information to search engines like Google and Bing, because if Google and Bing decides that your website is a spam website and they remove you from your index, it's very difficult to get your website relisted with them. Not impossible, but very difficult. So you want to always make sure that you only download scripts from a source that you actually trust. And there's no lack of trustworthy sources out there for scripts and website templates. There are lots of professional web design companies and professional SEO companies that offer both free and paid versions of templates and scripts and other resources that web designers can use. You want to make sure that you never ever download and use a script from an anonymous website. You want to always make sure that you know where that script is coming from and who wrote that script. And in the case specifically of PHP scripts that we're talking about right now, desktop virus and spyware software, even if they scan that script, they're not going to identify it as malicious code. So you can't depend on your virus and spyware protection software to protect you from these bad scripts that you can download from the internet. So be very, very cautious about where you get scripts from on the internet. Only get them from identifiable sources, never from any of those sort of anonymous sites that just offer all sorts of scripts and resources to you. And here you can see I've actually gone to my website, timothyseo.net, and if you scroll down just a little bit on the page, you'll see here's our sitemap generator script right here. And if you simply click on this link here, it will take you and give you all the information you need to know about our sitemap generating script, and also give you a list of reasons why I think our script is the best one that you can use. Now, setting up our sitemap script is very, very simple. There's basically just 3 steps involved in setting up the script. And the first is to simply add your domain name to it and upload the script to your website just like you would any other file. The second thing you need to do is actually run the script and activate it. And you can do that from any browser at all. And then finally, once you've done that, you'll add your sitemap to Google and Bing Webmaster Tools, and you're done. So it's a very, very simple process to set our script up, as opposed to other scripts that require a lot more customization and configuration. And in the next video, I'm going to step you through step by step how to do exactly that. So I will see you in the next video.